policy meets progress. Philippines' take on digital innovation, inclusion, and investment.
Can I please ask you to introduce yourself and your current role, and what do you do, what you've been doing for the past several years, and let's start with Jocelle.
Thank you. So first of all, good afternoon to everyone. And for our visitors, welcome to the Philippines. In my past life, which was a week ago,
Okay.
I was Undersecretary of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. But I have a 20 years of helping as a digital countryside advocate. I focus more on developing policies in the local and in the national and currently in the international level, because I also serve as a member of the Digital Innovation Board of the International Telecommunication Union, which is the governing body of the United Nations for Information and Communications Technology. But otherwise, I'm a creative person, I love gaming, and I love meeting people. Thank you.
Thank you, and it's great to have you here. No, Jason has his own microphone. Jason, you are with National Development Company. Jason is Chief AI Officer. Can you please tell us about yourself and what you do at NDA?
Hi,
NDC.
good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Philippines with foreigners. My role as Chief AI Officer is to gather information, look at the different startups, the different collaborations that can be done in the AI space, as well as I dabble in cybersecurity, agri-tech, and clean tech. So those are the programs that I'm handling right now.
This is very interesting. We spoke a lot about AI on this stage this morning, to be honest, during the dedicated AI track. Then we spoke about this in regards to cryptocurrencies and the usage in the blockchain space. Then we spoke about AI trying to actually fraud people, you know, and trying to steal their funds. So it's like it is everywhere, and there's so many applications. What I would like to talk to you about is how I'll start with you, Jocelle, I guess. How do you and your role and your involvement over the last couple decades have ensured, let's start with access to digital infrastructure, because I think this is where it all starts. When we talk about digitization, the first thing that comes to mind is mere access to the internet and to digital services. How does that work in the Philippines?
Yes, thank you. So one unique quality of the Philippines is that we're composed of over 7,000 islands.
Yes.
And we have a big population, over 110 million. And 70 to 80% of that population is outside of Metro Manila, which is the capital.
Yes.
So for 20 years, I've been working with different regions and provinces outside of Metro Manila, more like a countryside mouse, trying to really take a look at how we can leverage on our own strengths and improve our weaknesses in the different provinces and regions to, take advantage of the benefit of the digital age. And so digital infrastructure has been a very important key. As you know, the Philippines tried to make investments in digital infrastructure more attractive now that it has been de-Philipinized, meaning foreigners can come and invest in all types of digital infrastructure anywhere around the country. And when you talk of IT investments and companies, over the last 20 years, we already have a regime of incentives that offer a lot of packages, income tax holidays, no taxes, a lot of other things, 2-year working visa to a lot of foreign investors. And the beauty is that the more you go out of Metro Manila and down to far-flung provinces, the longer your tax incentives will be. And so this really pushed a lot of growth in the provinces and in the regions. I come from a city called Bacolod, and it's beside Cebu. I just have to say Cebu because it's very famous. And of course, Boracay, which is Iloilo. And 20 years ago, looking back, we only barely have a few hundreds of IT jobs. Today, we are pushing to about 40,000 IT-enabled jobs. In Cebu, you look at around 250,000 outside of Metro Manila. In Davao, you have around 80,000 IT-enabled jobs. So you can see that where infrastructure goes, the jobs are also going. And so policy plays a very important role in making this happen.
So this is what you mean by digital countryside, actually.
Yes, and inclusion because, again, not only the population, but 70 to 80% of our talent, which, by the way, is very unique now. We are now into our demographic dividend as a country, meaning to say we have more people that are able-bodied and part of the workforce than our all population overall. So 70 to 80% of this able-bodied workforce is in the countryside, waiting for digital infrastructure to open up more and more jobs for them.
This is very interesting stats. Is there information on their age? Are they younger or yes?
Yes, younger. The median age is around 24 to 25. Maybe Jason can add more.
Can
yeah.
you add something to it? Yes, please.
Olga, yeah, that's correct. The median age is actually 25. We are a very young and robust population, and that's why in the NDC we've also started up with a startup venture fund and the Philippine Innovation Hub.
Okay.
So these are projects that are geared more for startups in building the startup ecosystem. So we've put in, we actually have a building that's created for the Philippine Innovation Hub that's gonna be housing incubators and accelerators in the event that we're able to grow the first unicorn company.
This is very exciting. And which industries this fund is targeting? When are you talking about the startups? Are we talking about tech startups? Is it AI based, or maybe it's about blockchain?
It's going to cut across everything.
Oh, across a lot of industries.
Yeah, a lot of industries. We are supporting the startup industry through the generosity of Congress. They were the ones who put up the building for DTI. We're an attached agency of DTI. We are mandated to catalyze industries. So by putting up the programs in the Innovation Hub and also by exposing the Startup Venture Fund, we have a Startup Venture Fund for startups. And by opening this up to the public and by nurturing the startups, we hope to see a lot more of these startups grow into commercialization.
Except for the funding, are there any policies in place that would attract people to, start a company here and do it in a tech industry?
All right. So I'll add
And
to
taxes, of course, yes.
Yes. I'll reinforce what Jason mentioned earlier. So 6-7 years ago, the Philippines have what we call the Innovative Startup Act. And it calls upon three important agencies of government to come together as a consortium, together with NDC, to create a lot of strategies around startups. So you have the Department of Trade and Industry, the Department of Science and Technology, and my previous department, the Department of Information and Communications Technology. So year in, year out, since around 5 years ago, we have a lot of initiatives and interventions in creating the startup innovation ecosystem, one of which is the Philippine Startup Week, which we celebrate every November. And we have, as mentioned by my colleague, the Startup Grant Fund. And in the whole universe of startups, we have from a simple hackathon, that's being conducted by the different agencies in different regions, to incubators and accelerators, mainly the focus of the Department of Science and Technology, and now on a national level, the Department of Trade and Industry through the NDC. And of course, we have a lot of industry engagements with different startups, and the incentives are all in that law, making it easy for them to get funded and to avail of different government incentives.
Thank you. I have extrovert question, but I would like to say in inner policies narrative so far. So we spoke about the age of people that are interested in the new IT infrastructure, digital infrastructure, and the existing and new coming jobs. We spoke about the startups. What do you see as new revenue flow? I'll give you an example. Tomorrow we will have YGG on this stage. Yield Guild Games, one of the most biggest gaming guilds in Southeast Asia. So they are utilizing their metaverse program to attract more people to work remotely, earn money in, let's say, crypto and digital assets, and then be able to earn more without having to, change their lives a lot, or maybe getting enrolled into different programs. So, do you see the industry of gaming as a new revenue model for this, and how does that work in your perspective? And do you see it as a new opportunity for people that, let's say, love to play games on a country level? Would that work?
So, well, actually, when I was appointed as Undersecretary for the DICT, I've started to actually attend similar events.
Yes.
Earlier, we had the Blockchain Association of the Philippines. Last year, I was also invited in a blockchain event, YDG, and all that. And I've already mentioned publicly in my official capacity that this specialized industry is going to create a very good income stream for Filipinos without leaving the country. The universe,
exactly,
yeah,
without having to go abroad.
Exactly. The universe of gaming in the Philippines is very, very promising. I have to say that this is going to be and should be a major income stream, revenue stream, not only of Metro Manila, but all the key cities and provinces in the Philippines. Why? Number one, I would have to say, is really the digital skills of our very young workforce. As Jason mentioned earlier, our median age is 25, very tech savvy. And then, Olga, I want to emphasize this. One of the greatest talents of Filipinos is our creativity. And
that is true.
Oftentimes, we try to just downplay our creativity, thinking it's a soft skill, but creativity is never a soft skill. It's really a very important skill.
True.
Creativity, empathy, and all these things are important. And I'd like to say that with all these initiatives of the academe bringing in gaming, game development, entertainment, multimedia into the mainstream of our academic courses, can you just imagine? And I've seen over the last 10 years a lot of cities, not only Metro Manila, having a lot of gaming industry events. Just like this, maybe this is a wider scale, but in a smaller scale, we have these types of events, game festivals, gaming industry, and all these things happening in the different parts of the country.
Thank you. Now, that's my question for outside of the Philippines. SiGMA is very happy to bring international partners and players and companies that actually do a global tour with us. We host 7 conferences every year, and we're very happy to bring many of them, all of them, to the Philippines for the 3rd year now. How does that work with public-private partnerships outside of the Philippines, international partnerships? I recently joined an association which is called IDEA, International Digital Economy Association, which is run by Amor Maclang. You know her, I'm sure. She's also chairman of Digital Filipinas Association, also pioneering what they call digital majority movement, uniting people in all of the countries who like to play games, who like esports, sports, right? Younger people, people of all ages. How does that work with international partnerships and attracting international outside investments to help Philippines economy.
Okay.
Food for thought.
Yeah. Well, Jason is, you know, thinking about, but NDC is a very important agency because NDC can actually finance a lot of ventures in the startup space. But to directly answer your question, Olga, I have to be very candid and say that we need to develop more and more policies that actually strengthen and support international collaboration. I have to say that. I mean, there's always a starting point in everything. And you know, the Philippines is such a promising nation in so far as international collaborations is concerned. We just need to focus and find our niche. And I have to say that gaming and the game industry is actually our niche. In the meantime, I would have to say that the private sector is doing such a great job in this aspect. Amor is always like my go-to mentor.
Hi, Amor.
Hi, Amor.
She's in Russia now, by the way.
Yeah, and you know, I think everyone is also in London for the London Tech Week. And you know, the world is becoming such a small space for us innovators. And you know, the more we have private sector people coming in, the likes of your speakers earlier, helping government, because us in government, well, officially I left government last week, so I'm back in the private sector, but government needs to have more inspiration to move faster. And I think the inspiration is a growth in the economy. And I have so much, I'm so inspired by the project of NDC. This is the first time. It's called the Philippine Innovation Hub, as mentioned earlier by Jason. It's a huge hub. The goal is to make it the hub of hubs.
Wow.
And
Yes, you're right. You're right. The goal is for it to become the safe space for startups. It's where we're gonna nurture, feed them programs. There's also we even put up a one-stop shop for all government agencies concerned. So let's say they want to register their company, they want to go through all the government policies that's needed. We put up a space there for them. That's where they have to just go. And we envision this hub to launch at least 100 startups
Wow.
on its first
It's
year.
a big number.
That's
Amazing.
a big number.
Yes.
Hopefully. But we're really aiming at 1,000. So
It's very close, I'm sure. It's very close.
it's a shot into the moon. So, but still, it's a target that we envision. We'll start with 100 first.
I'm sure we'll be able to help you, with the SiGMA and AIBC because we have our own startup pitch. The SiGMA pitch is happening on SiGMA stage today. AIBC pitch is happening on this stage tomorrow. Last year, by the way, we had a winner from the Philippines. It was a cargo company, existing transportation company that have put their supply chain infrastructure on blockchain. And they already had a working product, and it's a local, absolutely homegrown domestic product. It was so good. They won the startup pitch last year.
so, yeah, I'd like to supplement and validate, and reinforce what Jason mentioned. In the ISA, or the Innovative Startup Act Steering Committee, where the three departments sit, the target actually of the whole country in terms of startups up to 2028 is 1,000. So it actually aligns with the target of the iHub, because we're talking here of the whole country. And so more activities, more pitching, more hackathon. And by the way, unofficially, I have volunteered to be part of the mentors circle of the iHub. So I can also, bring in the provincial startups from Visayas, from Mindanao, from different parts of the country, because who knows, many of your international, I mean, many of the requirements in terms of ingenuity, in terms of creativity, in terms of technology may be found outside of Metro Manila from the different provinces. So that's what we're looking at, and the best is yet to come.
Thank you. I wanted to ask Jason, we have some time left. I wanted to ask, since you are a Chief AI Officer, how is your company and generally government in the Philippines is leveraging AI to ensure the smooth implementation of the policies?
So NDC is tasked to catalyze industries, and my main function as Chief AI Officer is to look at the different proposals to make sure that these proposals warrant government interest. And so far, the AI space has been moving at a very, very fast
Too
rate.
fast.
Too fast. Too fast. Too fast to that it's scary. So we hope to house AI startups in the Philippine Innovation Hub. We are not closing our doors. So we're not focusing on a certain angle or certain area or certain niche. We're opening it to all AI companies. So we're just looking at the different aspects by which these companies can be able to commercialize themselves, because that's
see.
actually the main problem of startups. Their difficulty to commercialize.
To figure out the market go-to strategy, yes, and the market fit.
Exactly. So we're gearing up with a lot of programs for these startups to be housed into, for them to be able to grow, and hopefully we can get a unicorn.
I'm sure of it, 100%. We're actually out of time, unfortunately, but maybe just a few final remarks from your side about the investment landscape, the inclusion, the women appreciation in our, in the many industries in the Philippines.
Thank you. So first of all, thank you for this opportunity. Instead of a final remarks, I'd like to take this opportunity to again chime in on what Jason mentioned. We've been working for more than 2 to 3 years already coming together in terms of AI, and I'm happy to share that the President just approved what we call the National AI Strategy Philippines, or NAIS-PH, under the leadership of the Department of Science and Technology. And I'm very proud to say that the AI governance piece, or the AI policy side, is something that I've worked on for 2 years together with Alan Turing, the London Tech Advocates, the other international AI hubs that want to develop AI-driven technologies and innovations that are ethical, responsible, accountable, and innovative. So I'd like to say that the world needs to know that. Come to the Philippines. We have a whole of nation, whole of government strategy now in place. And that's one of the first in ASEAN, together with Singapore and Malaysia. And so in closing, I'd like to say that you can follow me on my website. It's JocelleBatapa-Sigue.com. There you will see my work in terms of digital inclusion for women and girls in ICT. We need to increase the numbers from 16% now to higher. The world needs women.
Absolutely, always.
And ICT will be empowered more when women comes in. We also have Generation Connect, one of my policies, and of course bringing jobs and investments to the countryside. So I'd like to, if anyone is interested to help me in my advocacy now, I'll be more than willing to keep on the conversation. Thank you so much, Olga.
Thank you, Jocelle. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you for having me, and more power for SiGMA and AIBC.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming. Enjoy the rest of the event and really enjoy our conversation. Thank you. Bravo. Thank you so much, everyone.